Welcome to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to the Trinity. My name is Hussein. Hope you're doing good, having a good day. And I just wanted to do a little thing today. Every now and then, I like to do something that I don't know anything about. And then we kind of learn about it together and just kind of go and do. And one thing that kind of came up at a live stream yesterday that I thought would be interesting, maybe we'll do it together today, is about Jonah. And like I explained the other day when we were talking about Gaza, about Rafah, that I was saying where I lived, and I lived in Yunus, and Yunus in the Quran is the name of Jonah. And so they've taken the name Jonah, and Muhammad changed a lot of names like Jesus. Um, there's many names, Ayub, Job. And Jonah is called Yunus in the Quran. And there's a whole surah called the Surah of Yunus, the Surah of Jonah. So, but there's only like 4 verses about Jonah. So I thought, let's look at it, see what the commentaries say about it. Just, like the other day, I did one about Lot, and just went and looked at the different about Lot, it's almost entirely, the whole thing is about him leaving Sodom and Gomorrah and his wife turning into a pillar of salt, and his wife was punished. The one thing that you'll always find, his wife was punished. Yeah, that was always a very persistent theme. Hello, Marion. Hello, Emmanuel. Hello, Andrew. God bless you. So anyway, let's kind of do this together. And I'm learning along with you. I don't know that much about Jonah in the Quran. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at this together here. Okay. So what I want to do is, let me see if we can, this is the Surah of Yunus, which is not really what I want. I kind of wanted the verses about him, where his name is mentioned. Let me see if I could do this a different way here. Okay. If we look here, 37, 139. Let's see if we can look at 37. Okay. Here it is. The talking about Elias, and Lot was one of the good ones. And remember, we delivered him and his family, except an old woman who was one of the doomed. That's his wife, of course. And we utterly destroyed the rest. You Meccans certainly pass by their ruins today, even though I doubt. Inkum el tamrun alayha. Okay. In Arabic, it doesn't say Meccans because Mecca is not mentioned in the Quran, except for Becca. Okay, here's verse 39. Okay, and it says, and Jonah was indeed one of the messengers. Remember when he fled to the overloaded ship to save it? Then, to save it from sinking, he drew straws with other passengers. He lost and was thrown overboard. Then the whale engulfed him while he was blameworthy. Okay, now here in the Quran, the word is al-hut, which does mean whale. Okay, and I know that historically people said uh, that he was in the belly of a whale, but the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says a great fish. And so they've done studies. There's actually been people who have been in the belly of a great fish and survived. That has happened, and so but not a whale. He would not have survived in a whale, but there are fish that he could survive in. And so in the Bible, it says great fish. It doesn't say whale. Everybody assumes it's a whale because it'd have to be so huge for a man to be in its stomach. But the Quran does say that it's a whale. Okay, but the Bible doesn't, but the Quran does. So, all right. Okay, and he was blameworthy. Okay, had he not constantly glorified Allah, he would have certainly remained in its belly until the day of resurrection. He would have, dang. Okay, so we learned something, you guys. Um, this fish is going to live, this whale is going to live until the day of resurrection. How is the whale going to be alive until the day of resurrection? Okay, we need to go, but we cast him into the open shore, totally worn out, and caused a squash plant to grow over him. A squash plant to grow over him. And later we sent him back to his city of at least 100,000 people. Let me see what it says in Arabic. وَأَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى مَائِةِ أَلْفٍ أَوْ يُزِيدُونَ, or more, 100,000 or more, who then believed in him. So we allowed them enjoyment for a while. Ask them, O Prophet, if your Lord has daughters, while the pagans prefer to have sons. Yo, boy, yeah, you're getting into that issue again. All right, but that's kind of interesting. I mean, you got pretty much the whole story of Jonah. A couple of differences with the real story. And I could just imagine Muhammad talking to the Jews and getting these stories from the Jews, and then forgetting a few words or the name, and then writing these verses in the Quran. And so a couple of errors, couple of problems. Number one is verse 144. How is it that it says he would have certainly remained in his belly until the day of resurrection? Let's see. لَلْبَثْ فِي بُطْنُ إِلَى يَوْمِ يَبْعَثُونَ. Okay. I'm just kind of curious if Ibn Kathir has a comment about this 37:144. Let's just real quickly look over there. Okay. Okay, go to the commentaries. Maybe Ibn Abbas has something to say. Ibn Abbas was Muhammad's cousin, so he was kind of had a lot of inside stories type stuff. So let's see. He would have tarried in its belly. He would have remained in the belly till the day when they are raised from the graves. Wow. That would mean that the fish had to stay alive until the day of resurrection. Wow. That is going to be one old fish, you guys. That fish is going to be really old. Okay, let's see what Jalalain has to say about this. 37. تحت ظل. Okay, he would have tarried in its belly until the day when they are raised. In other words, the whale's belly would have been his tomb until the day of resurrection. Now you see, until the day, okay, Jalalain understood we got a problem here. And so he adds words. I mean, this is not the way that the Quran says it, but you can clearly tell that Jalalain understood we got a problem here. We better do some. And Ibn Kathir, you guys, he was like, what, 800 years after Muhammad. And so all he did, his whole focus was to just answer all these accusations about this crazy stuff in the Quran. Okay, let's see if 139 has it, just because he doesn't have 144. Who can blame him? Okay, but let's see what he says. The story of Yunus. We have already discussed the story of Yunus in the two Sahihs. It is reported, it is not right for any person to say, I am better than Yunus bin Matta. Okay, so he's got the father's name. He's called Matta. I believe it's Amittai in the Bible. Okay. While he ran to a laden ship, Ibn Abbas said it was filled with cargo, and he agreed to cast lots. Okay. And he was among the losers, means he was among those who have been overcome. The ship was pounded by waves on all sides, and they were at risk of drowning. So they drew lots, and whoever lost would be thrown overboard so as to lighten the load. And the Prophet of Allah, Yunus, lost the draw 3 times. Okay, now the Bible doesn't say that, but they did not want to throw him overboard. He took off his garment so that he could throw himself in the sea, and they tried to stop him. The Bible doesn't say that either. The Bible says that he told the people, he told the other sailors, they asked him, what do we have to do to you in order for the sea to calm down? And he said, you have to take me up with your hands and throw me in the sea. So it was kind of like an offering. They had to do it with their own hands, because at that point, you guys, he became a picture of Jesus Christ. And he, by the hands of man, he was crucified. And so they had to take, he said to them, it would have been much easier if he says, okay, I'm just going to jump into the sea and everything's going to be good. But he didn't say that. It does not say that he said, I'm going to jump into the sea. He said, you have to take me up and throw me in. So this story right here is not what's in the Bible. But okay. They tried to stop him. Then Allah commanded a large fish from the Green Sea, the Mediterranean, to cleave the oceans, and come and swallow Yunus, okay, without cutting his flesh or breaking his bones. The fish came and Yunus threw himself overboard. Okay, that's not what the Bible says, but okay. And the fish swallowed him and took him away, traveling through all the seas with him. When Yunus had stayed for some time in the fish's belly, he thought that he had died. Then he moved his head and legs and forearms and saw that he was alive. He prayed in the belly of the fish, and one of the things he said in his prayer is, O Lord, I have taken as a place of worship to you, a place which no other person has reached. Okay, he didn't say that, but okay. It's a chapter 2 of Jonah, his prayer, which is an amazing prayer. They differed as to how long he spent in the belly of the fish. Some said 3 days. This was with the view of Qatada. Some said 7 days. This was the view of Ja'far bin Siddiq. May Allah be. Some said 40 days. This was the view of Abu Malik. Mujahid said, okay, so here you guys is some other differences. Okay, some said he was in the belly of the fish 3 days. Some say he was in there 7 days. Some say he was in there 40 days. So he's 40 days in the belly of the fish. Okay, how would he survive? Maybe drinking salt water and stomach acid. What did they call it? Stomach juices. Okay, 40 days. Okay, so that's another difference. Mujahid said, narrating from, it swallowed him in the morning and was cast him forth in the evening. Okay, so this guy says it was one in one day. Allah knows best. Well, the true God knows exactly. It was 3 days and 3 nights. He told us. Okay, had he not been of them who glorify Allah, he would have indeed remained inside the belly of the fish until the day of resurrection. It was said that if he had not already done righteous deeds during his time of ease, this was the view of the Haq bin Qais, others, and it was favored by Ibn Jarir. This is indicated by the authentic hadith which we quote. If Allah wills, in a hadith narrated, okay, in which he said, remember Allah during these times of ease, and he'll remember you during times of difficulty. And it was said, it was meant by the ayah, had he not been of those who glorified Allah. Okay. Of the wrongdoers. Okay. But we still have the problem here, you guys, that this fish had to live for a long time because it was supposed to be until the day of resurrection. So Ibn Kathir did not fix the problem, you guys. Ibn Kathir did not fix the issue that fish is going to have to live until Judgment Day. Okay. Now, you guys, if we really want to go get a little crazy, one thing that I have read is that there was a theory that this whale is the same whale that the Earth is on top of. Because the belief is that the Earth is on top of a whale, and when the whale moves, the Earth, that's when earthquakes happen. So Allah put mountains on the Earth to keep the Earth from shaking when the whale moved. And there are some believe that the whale of Jonah is the whale that the Earth is on. So, okay. Well, you guys, we got some new information there. He was either in the belly 1 day, or 3 days, or 7 days, or 40 days. And he was going to stay in there unless he had been one of the good guys. He would have stayed in there until the day of resurrection, which means that fish was going to be very, very old. Okay, let's see what El Maududi says. Again, El Maududi, a little bit more modern. Okay, and he probably did the wiser thing of totally avoiding the subject. Well, let's see. Okay, Jonah, already been mentioned. Okay, the word Ibak, fighter, escaped from his master's house. Lots were drawn. Was so afflicted because he had fled and abandoned his mission without the permission of his master. Okay, above blameworthy person. Okay, the two meanings are implied. Was not of the people. Okay, the only thing I'm interested in is, you guys, I want to see. Okay, now El Maududi has discovered a problem in the Quran and he's trying to fix it. It says, this does not mean the fish would have lived till resurrection and the prophet Jonah would have remained alive in his belly till then, but that the fish's belly would have become his grave till resurrection. Yeah, you wish. Okay, so obviously El Maududi realized that they got a problem in this verse. That if this, that if the way this verse says it, this fish would have lived until the day of resurrection, and Jonah would have been alive in it. He would have lived also until the day of resurrection. It just shows you Muhammad kind of, he kind of twisted things. So Al Maududi attempts to fix it, you guys. Al Maududi obviously sees that there is a problem with this verse, and so he has to fix it. Okay. One other one I want to see is Asbab Nuzul. See if they say anything about this. Okay. Asbab Nuzul avoids the whole thing. He avoids the whole surah. He doesn't have the surah at all. So, okay. I wonder if these other guys. Now, there's a couple of other guys here. Let me just check it out, you guys, just since we're here already. Because each one has kind of offered a different take on what these verses mean. So it's interesting to see. Okay, this guy, he might say something. Let's see. Okay. The fish's belly was Jonah's trial. In terms of inwardness, it was a place of seclusion. He wanted to talk secretly with the friend without the intrusion of others. Just as the fish's belly was made into Jonah's place of retreat. Okay. Stories that come after Jonah delivered the darkness, released in tribulation. Okay. All right. It doesn't seem to say anything about. It doesn't seem to say anything about how long he would have been in the belly of the fish had he not been a good man. Okay. Okay. All right. He doesn't say. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Asbab Nuzul. Let's see. Tostari. We saw Kushairi. Safa. Let's see if this guy. Oh, he goes to 143. Let's see if he. Before affliction. He knows. Okay. Okay. So, all right, you guys. Well, that was one of the places where it talks about Jonah. Let's see. Let's see the next one. Okay. The only reason I'm looking at these guys because, like the story of. Okay. Now, in Surah Al-An'am, which is Surah 6, it says Jonah, but it just includes him in a list with a bunch of other, so it doesn't look like it has the whole story there. And then, okay, 68:48. Let's look at 68:48. Well, you know what? Oops. Okay, let's see what it says in Surah of Yunus. Okay. And do not be of those who deny Allah's signs. Indeed, those against whom the Lord's decree of torment will be justified. Painful punishment, of course. If only there had been a society which believed before seeing the torment and therefore benefited from its belief, like the people of Jonah when they believed. We lifted from them the torment of disgrace in this world and allowed them enjoyment for a while. Had your Lord so willed, O Prophet, all people on earth would have certainly believed, every single one of them. would you then force people to become believers? Um, there's an interesting verse here about Allah. It tells you, and it's very interesting because um, it shows you the difference between our God and the God of Muhammad. The Bible says about our God, it is his will that none should perish. It is God's will that none should perish. And it says he has no pleasure in the death of the wicked because they're going to go to hell. They'll be separated. He has no pleasure in the death of the wicked. And it says it's his will that none should perish. He doesn't want anybody to perish. Okay. But look at Allah. It says, if Allah had willed, everybody would have believed and been saved. But he didn't will. He doesn't want everybody to be saved. He doesn't want everybody to be saved. You know, it says, lo sha rabbak la min fi il ard kullahum jami'an فأنت تكره الناس حتى يكونوا مؤمنين. Okay, well, it says if he willed, he could have, but he chose not to. So, very interesting verse about Allah. All right. Well, anyway, that was the verse about Jonah, the people of Jonah. Okay, and okay, we're just going to look one more place. It was Surah Al-An'am. I wanted to see that verse right there. Okay. All right. No. 68:48. The man of the whale. Okay. I only delay their end for a while, but my planning is flawless. Or are you asking them for a reward for the message so that they are overburdened by a debt? Or do they have access to a record in the unseen? So be patient with your Lord's decree, and do not be like Jonah, the man of the whale, who cried out to Allah in total distress. Had he not been shown grace by his Lord, he would have certainly been cast onto the open shore, still blameworthy. Then his Lord chose him, making him one of the righteous. Okay, so, all right. So there was a little bit of information about Jonah in Islam. Not much, but interesting. Hello, let's see. The whale under the earth has an axe. Does it have an axe underneath? Oh, an ox underneath it. Yes, it does. Yes. And oh, vampire whale, listen to them. The children of the deep, what music they make. He would have remained until the day. Yep. And you guys, when I read that, it was like I instantly saw, wait a minute, this is saying that this fish is going to live. Of course, whales aren't fish, they're mammals, until the day of resurrection. But Al-Maududi caught, and Jalalain both caught that there's a problem in this verse, and so they corrected it. And they said, this does not mean that the fish is going to live forever. Oh, shoot. Well, shoot. You know, you guys, it's like there's problems on my father's side, with the Palestinians and Gaza and everything, but also on my mother's side from Brazil, there was a huge flood near the city where my relatives live, and one of my uncle's ex-wife, her house was destroyed in the flood. It was a huge flood, and they were not prepared to deal with it. And, so anyway, keep Brazil in your prayers. Very sad. Uh, uh, yes, the ox shows that Mo invented the cosmology of Islam. And didn't understand the purpose of creating an ox, which shows he was of the lying elite. Yeah, if you guys have ever seen the picture, Muhammad says that there's the earth, it's on top of a whale, it's on top of an ox, it's on top of some other things, on top of the water, on top of some ocean or something. And yeah, it's funny. So, yeah, you guys. So let me just look one other thing before we go. Uh, every now and then you'll find something in the hadiths that is worth mentioning. Uh, let's look at this together here, see if there's something in the hadith that's worth mentioning here about Jonah. Because, those commentaries said that this is in the hadith. None of you should say that I am better than Jonah. Okay. It does not befit a slave that he should say he is better than Jonah. Okay. Al-Qatada says the messenger never ate on a table nor on small plates, nor did he eat thin bread. He, Yunus, said, Qatada said, so what did he eat on? On these leather dining sheets? On these leather dining sheets. This Yunus is Yunus. Okay, so this is a different Yunus, different Jonah. Okay. Okay, these are different Yunuses here. So transmitted by Yunus. Halal on the authority. Okay, these are all different Yunuses, you guys. Okay. Well, it seems like the main thing in the hadith about Jonah is that people shouldn't say they're better than him. Here again, nobody has the right to say he's better than Jonah. One should not say that I am better than Jonah. Mention his father Metta. The prophet mentioned the night of his ascension. Oh, this must have been the Burak, that Moses was brown, a tall person, as if from the people of the tribe of Shanua. Jesus was curly-haired man of moderate height. He also mentioned Malik, the gatekeeper of the hellfire, and El-Dajjal. So, okay. None has the right to say that I'm better than Jonah. None has the right to say I'm better than Jonah. Heard the prophet saying hadith. Okay. No one has a right. This is a really big thing Muhammad really seems to focus on, is that people should not say they're better than Jonah. Not fitting to say that I, the prophet, is better than Jonah. Oh, so somebody was saying that Muhammad is better than Jonah, and he says it's not fitting to say that I'm better than Jonah. Okay. Authority of Yunus. Okay. It's not fitting for a prophet to say, I am better than Jonah. Okay. No slave should say, I'm better than Jonah. So apparently, people were saying to Muhammad, you're better than Jonah. Maybe this is when he ran away from Mecca and went to Medina. and had the little boy pretend to be him because people wanted to come kill him. So he asked this boy to sleep in his bed, and he fled to Medina, but he wanted to have the little boy in his bed so that when people came looking for him, they would see someone in the bed and not know that he ran away. Well, that boy could have got killed for that, but details. All right, reported by Yunus. Okay, so okay, it seems like that seems to be the main thing there. It's not meet for a servant of mine that he should say, I am better than Yunus. Okay, so that seems to be the most important thing in the hadith about Jonah. Okay, now there's a bunch of other Yunuses, but those are not Jonah of the Bible. Okay, neither is this Jonah. Okay. All right, you guys. So there you have it. You have the 4 times, and there's a whole surah named after Jonah. And, Muhammad, in all of the stories in the Quran, they get little bits and pieces from the Bible, and then they repeat it over and over and over again, the same part. And, okay. Again, it's not me to say that I'm better than Jonah, son of Amittai, but okay. So, all right, you guys. Well, just wanted to come and kind of drop by and say hello. Thank you, guys. Copied. Yeah, he did. He copied the stories. You know what? There's different theories about how he got them and who he got the stories from. It's commonly believed that he got the stories from Waraka bin Nawfal. Waraka bin Nawfal was a heretic priest, an Ebionite, but he knew the Bible, and he apparently had translated the Gospel of Matthew from the Hebrew to the Arabic or something. I'm not sure exactly how that story works, but anyway, he told Muhammad a lot of stuff, and he was trying to make Muhammad into a prophet. And so when he died, Muhammad tried to commit suicide 3 times, remember? Because he was the source of his inspiration. And Muhammad said it was when he died, the inspiration stopped. And so Muhammad tried to kill himself 3 times. And all right. So yeah, he and then there's also the story that there was a Christian who used to give him information. This is in the hadith. And that Christian, a lot of people believe to be Waraka, not Waraka, but the monk Buhaira, who some believe is Muhammad's father. And so, yeah. So anyway, that's why you got these biblical stories, and you just got bits and pieces. And a lot of them, you have the name of the person, and then instead of having the biblical story, you'll have one of the Gnostic or the Talmud or the Midrash, or a lot of Midrash stories, like about Solomon and the stick and the cane and Solomon and the ants, talking ants and stuff like that. So, and the flying carpet. So, okay. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for coming on, and thanks for hanging out for a few moments. And if you haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. Yes, Marion, that story is like, it's unbelievable. He endangered the kid because the reason he put there's a similar story in the Bible There's a similar story in the Bible where David, remember David was trying to run away from people that were trying to kill him, but he put like a broom or something or a mop or something in the bed to where when people came in, they saw a broom and they thought David was there. But Muhammad puts a little kid. I mean, and the kid was in danger. He could have died, for that. And, but yes, it does tell you something about him. So, all right, you guys, thank you for hanging out. Be blessed. Have a great night. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to
that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.